Yeah, well, that's what Brian says. He gives me credit for it. He says, that was you. So I'll tell you a little bit about her, my impressions.
Okay.
Okay, so at a lot of the women I've talked to there, she came off as being very genuine. And what I mean by that is, I honestly believed that she believed the things she was saying. A lot of people I debate, a lot of women I debate, you know how you can get a feeling from someone that they don't actually believe that they're saying?
Right.
Her, I got the distinct feeling she actually believed the stuff that she was telling me.
Really?
Right? As stupid as it is, as the stuff she was telling me was, I got the impression she at least believed it was true. And so I was willing to give her the benefit of the doubt when she came out with this. And a lot of people were hammering her.
Came out with what?
Even from
OnlyFans or Christianity?
No, with the Christianity, with the conversion. You know, I was on Pearl.
I remember seeing that, and it just looked like to me, you know, she made her money, she made her millions, and then jumped ship.
Look, I have no problem with Christians usually, but let's be honest, they all lie about Jesus. They don't care what Jesus believed because Jesus was Jewish. So if they really wanted to follow what Jesus believed, they would be Jewish. He was also the founder of equality because he said, I am God's son and we are all God's children. Yet Christians go around preaching that he was God's only son and essentially the rest of us are adopted creatures. That he is God's only son. So they preach direct contradictions of what Jesus himself said. So why the fuck do they claim to follow Jesus when they literally preach blasphemy and heresy against everything he stood for? And then they preach the words of the men who killed him, the Romans, not the words he preached, Judaism, Hebrew. So like, I don't get it. I don't understand you Christians. To me, you're all lost sheep. You are a satanic death cult who worships those who killed Jesus, not Jesus himself, but you're tricked into believing you're worshipping Jesus by those who killed him, and you wear the device that was used to kill him, the cross, as the symbol of him, when I'm sure he'd prefer something else, and you deny that he is equal to me, but he said he was equal to me, so you deny what Jesus said, but think you follow Jesus. It just stops making sense. It stops making sense. None of you follow Jesus. I'm sorry, you don't. I follow Jesus more than you lot, and I'm fucking agnostic atheist. At the end of the day, unless you are a true follower of equality, you don't follow Jesus. I'm sorry, you don't. You're a fraud. You are exactly the sort of fake Jew they were on about in Revelation 3:9. Basically. Those who claim they are Jewish but are not. Because if you're claiming to follow a Jewish man as a Christian, you're not quite claiming to be Jewish, but you're claiming to follow a Jewish man. So you are claiming some sort of Jewishness, even though you're not claiming to be Jewish. Just indirectly, alright? Christians are basically, corrupted Jews.
I mean, I'm happy to anyone who turns their back on that line of work, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to say that I don't believe her, but I'm also like a bit skeptical about it.
I don't believe anyone who goes from being a porn actress to a Christian. I don't believe them. They're doing it for the money, for the audience of the religious group. They're not, and if they're not doing it for that, they're doing it because they want to be seen in a better light. It's all got an end game. It's not genuine.
About it, to be honest, because she's made millions and now she wants to quit, but she didn't want to quit when she was making all that money. So, I don't know. You guys have to let me know what you think.
Davis's show, right after that, I was talking with Pearl. She's like, come on, Andrew, this is bullshit. It's just bringing in a bunch of simps. And I'm like, look, back off, because everybody needs to have at least an opportunity to move that direction. You know what I mean?
Well, if she quits her OnlyFans, then it's proof.
But she hadn't.
People shouldn't need moving in that direction because they should have never been moved from that position. If we didn't have people lying about Jesus for 2,000 years and religion, and they didn't change God from nature to being some humanized being with judging over human morality, I don't think we'd have this problem. We would accept that nature treats us all indiscriminately. It doesn't give a fuck about any of us. It'd wipe us out of existence in a blink of a second. Like it's like a volcano. It doesn't care which tree it burns. It's nature, right? And in that, there is equality. Because nature is indiscriminate against all of us, it equally doesn't give a fuck about all of us, right? I know a lot of people would struggle with that. That's probably why that people don't know this. But God doesn't care, as so to speak, because nature is God. Like, don't get me wrong. There's evidence that the universe works in mysterious ways, but there's no evidence to suggest it's conscious in any way. It just, balance seems to reign supreme. If something gets too out of hand, it gets pushed back. That's why there's an equal and opposite reaction to every reaction. That's why for 2 years everyone was a far-right extremist if you disagreed, and now for the last year, anyone who's disagreed is being a far-left extremist. Like, it's an equal and opposite reaction. We had the Me Too movement, ended up resulting in the Red Pill movement. I don't think some people understand that their actions have opposite and equal reactions. Even when you think your actions are meaningless and have no effect, they do.
Oh,
She
what?
hadn't really quit it, and then there was a bunch of pressure, right? And then she did.
Yeah,
she
obviously.
did. She did basically quit. She did basically quit after that. She pulled it all down. But it's like, that shows you the power of social shame, right? And
Social shame has always been a very powerful tool by humans because some people, they had so much money, it didn't matter how much money you took off them. Some people had so much power, it didn't matter how much power you took off them. Like, some people had so much, it didn't matter what you did to them, apart from kill them, right? And they were still fine. So the only way to actually get to some people was to socially shame them, was to make everyone else aware in the community about what these people had done to other people so that you didn't have it done to you. I fucking did it to my parents, me. They deserve it. Like, one of my parents tried to fucking murder me, and the other one tried to help cover it up by getting me to never talk about it again. And my brother and sister didn't believe me, but like, I've been telling the same story for 20 years. My story has not changed in 20 years. It's the same thing said in different words, in a different order of a sentence than I said when I was 15, because I'm now a 34-year-old. What I'm saying now is exactly the same. They didn't believe me then. They probably still don't believe me now. Don't give a fuck. They defended someone who tried to murder their child instead of and my brother and sister and mother should have protected me, which is why I don't talk to them. I want nothing to do with them. They all, unless they all apologise to me, I don't want nothing to do with them. Like, you don't get to try and murder me and then make me out to be the bad guy. Fuck off. I don't care about a few fucking petty gold coins that I stole. Someone tried to fucking murder me. Get a grip, morons. I told you 20 years ago. Should have fucking listened, shouldn't you? Because now, social shame-wise, let's be honest, the human race is going to look back at this time in history as the first time humans started to communicate non-vocally. It was all done digitally. And so they will study it. They will study Facebook, they will study Twitter, they will study Instagram, they will study TikTok. Humans will research and study this period of time very, very heavily. It is the first moment of digital writing. This will be basically the papyrus world in 1,000 years. What we're doing now will be the papyrus world, ancient scripture. And they will look back and try and understand what was going on. So these things will be watched. All these things you put online will be checked when you're dead. The human race will check these things because it's important to the future what happens in the past. So you all have the opportunity to tell stories that you want the future to know. And social shaming wise, the entire future will know that my parent tried to strangle me to death to try and get them to stop cheating on the other one. And my entire family helped cover it up and tried to make me out to be the villain. So They don't understand that social shaming doesn't stop in life. It exists through death. Long after you die, it exists. So I gave my family the simple opportunity. They can either apologise, and I can put in a good word for them. You know, they owe me an apology. It's the right thing to do. Or they can not apologise, and they can go down as basically child murderers and someone who helped cover up a child murderer. Like, it doesn't matter what you do in life. It doesn't matter how good you are, how successful you are, how much money you have. If you help try to cover up the murder of a child, you're going down as that kind of person. It's social shaming. And your only redemption would be to apologise. I've tried to help them, they just don't listen. They think I'm just... I don't know why they don't think they need to apologise. I don't understand personally. I can only assume they're scum, to be honest. I can only assume they're scum.
Social shame works. And so I was...
And it's great if she has quit and deleted all that, but it's all out there. She's already done it. It's all, you know, thousands of videos, photos. It's all... She can never delete that. That's everywhere. And she's always going to be recognised for being who she is. Even if a girl does OF for a day, she's still going to be seen as an OF chick. And doing that line of work and all the things that come with it. It doesn't matter. She can't erase that.
Willing to give her the benefit of the doubt, and it looks like
If I'm honest, I don't agree with Sam there. I think if a woman did an OnlyFans for a day, I could overlook that personally. I could personally overlook that because it would show that they made a choice and a decision, right? And then they regretted that decision the next day and went back on it. And that would show, yes, they made a mistake. Yes, it wasn't very clever, but they recognised their mistake, held themselves accountable, and stopped the behaviour. That's a positive. Although she should have never put a porn video online in the first place, of course. But if the woman's able to hold herself account for her behaviour and try and change it to be better, that's a positive, lads. That's a positive. Yes, fair enough, we don't want a girlfriend who's online sucking dicks. But in 1,000 years, everyone's going to be online sucking dicks or some shit, you know. Don't get me wrong, not the blokes. But, like, the world's not the same as it used to be. So let's consider, is a woman who does OnlyFans for a day, one day, and then quits for the rest of her life, really any different than a woman who lets a man draw her naked? Because, you know, in the Titanic, it's seen as quite, you know, romantic and whatnot. But, you know, as soon as you do, like, a porn video the same way, oh, it's dirty. You know, you got to have context. I don't consider a woman who did OnlyFans for a day and then quit because they realised what they'd done the same as one who has done it for years or months. I just don't. The same as I wouldn't consider some bloke who tried to be a drug dealer for a day the same as one who's done it for years. I just wouldn't consider you the same. They just want to shit on all these sex workers. And don't get me wrong, I don't think sex work is a healthy thing, but it's the oldest profession known to man. Like, the oldest profession is prostitution.
she's really trying to back off of that. And
I don't think you can say a lass who's been on OnlyFans for a day is the same as the rest of them. Come on. They've held themselves accountable.
move towards Christianity, and it's like, great.
It just, I see OnlyFans as a real sign of the apocalypse, because it...
The girl he's talking about is this one right here with the red hair. That's the one who he's talking about.
It's men giving...
The most poisonous creatures wear the most vibrant colours to warn of their toxicity, gentlemen. So, the more vibrant the colour, the more toxic the female. Alright?
up, and I don't blame them for giving up. Like I said to my sons, when you go to college, we have to outfit your dorm with hidden cameras and illegally film you because you could ruin your life.
Yeah.
And you're gonna remember that chick, mattress girl?
Yeah. Strapped the mattress to her back.
Yeah.
Claimed that she was and none of that happened.
Destroyed him. And yeah, she destroyed him for that. So I think a lot of these young men, they go, I'd rather just off.
That chick, mattress girl, right, was making
After the incident, she did an
I can't stand some of you women who make false accusations. Honestly, you fucking disgust me. Some of the things you women do, you fucking disgust me.
art piece
Yeah.
that was a reenactment of the. I'm doing a lot of finger quotes here.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then she aired that.
Yeah.
It was her whole identity. She's a mental patient. Oh yeah, and then we discovered later that
She's a mental patient. This is why I don't watch Andrew Wilson. Not this guy.
She was
the other
texting
guy,
him saying-
because he's always shitting on people with mental health problems. And the fact of the matter is, he's a smart guy. He's very good at debating. But you don't need to shit on disabled people constantly. You just don't need to. Even if someone does have a mental health problem, like, do you need to talk? Do we have to make that out to be the reason why you disagree with them? Or maybe in this case it's correct. Some cases it's correct. I don't know. I don't like Andrew Wilson because he uses the word retard all the fucking time. And if he was such a smart guy, he'd use better wording. It's as simple as that. And it's just normal in America to shit on disabled people constantly. I'm sick of it.
saying, "I want you to me in my ass."
Yeah.
And then when she got caught,
People that falsely accuse men of horrendous things and destroy that man's life, they should get there should be more serious consequences for that. They should go to flipping jail.
There's a lot of you women out there falsely accuse men of things they've never done, and it ruins their life. 2 weeks after my daughter was born, I was pushed through the wardrobe, accidentally, not intentionally, by the mother of the child. So I got up and shouted at her and walked her backwards, grabbed her arms, moved her out of my personal space. I didn't know it was an accident. I had a severe sciatic nerve injury at the time, so I've hit the bed behind me after she's pushed me in the chest and then gone flying through the wardrobes, smashing the wardrobes. So literally, my female partner essentially has just pushed me through some wardrobes, breaking it 2 weeks after our daughter was born, right? So I shouted at her for it, left the property, went for a walk, try and calm down, come back, the police are at the door. I get arrested, right, for shouting at someone who's violently assaulted me. Now, bear in mind, I have never been arrested at this point in my life, and I have never been arrested ever since. I'm 34. That is the only arrest of my entire life. I have never ever been arrested any other time. I had an immaculate 100% clean criminal record until she didn't tell the truth. So, because she didn't tell the truth, when we tried to tell the truth, the police threatened her with social services. So, we had to just not tell the truth. Although I tried, they didn't fucking listen. So I ended up getting charged with common assault, which is causing someone to fear for their safety, for shouting at someone who pushed me through a wardrobe. So I got violently assaulted, shouted at them, and got charged. Because they were female and I was male. She falsely accused me of something. I don't know. I don't even know what she did to this day. I still don't know. But she didn't tell the truth. She did not tell the truth because she didn't hold herself accountable and I got charged. There's no way I would have got charged if she told the truth. So it took me 10 years and then I handed in a confession of hers that she violently assaulted me. Like, she literally falsely accused me of assaulting her, essentially. I ended up getting charged, and then because it made me so unwell mentally, I ended up getting held under the Mental Health Act in Britain, and basically ended up being forced injections against my will, like a 2-week dosage of fluphenfixil and zuplenfixil, not a daily dosage, a 2-week dosage at once, every 2 weeks. So I was literally a vegetable in a bed for 2 years, like, shaking like this. I became a science experiment to my country. Like, for 10 years, I essentially lost of my life because she couldn't keep her hands to herself, and I shouted at her for it. Because I'm a man and she's a woman. I don't even know what the false accusation was, but the police just went with it, right? But even though I've handed in the evidence to exonerate myself, I've written to the king of my country, the prime minister. Like, I've written to them all. Nothing. They don't give a fuck about all these women falsely accusing men of rape or violent assaults. They don't give a fuck about men. They don't give a fuck about us. And that's why we need either change or a revolution will come. One way or the other. If they don't start protecting men and boys will start protecting themselves. And it ain't going to work out well for governments, I can promise you that. You want to stop treating us like cunts. But yeah, false accusations ruin lives. So she had her own daughter's father basically taken away because she couldn't keep her hands to herself. And then her daughter's father, ended up becoming a science experiment, being forced injections against his will every 2 weeks, while she's just skipping around, la 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 la, I did nothing wrong, blah 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 blah, lying to all her friends and family that, you know, she was a victim, when no, she should have been in jail for what she did. She should still be in jail for what she did. It's disgusting, but, you know, I'm not here to slag off the mother of my child. She's a very good mother, but women make false accusations and ruin men's lives every day, and they get unpunished. They don't face consequences. Maybe if these women had fucking consequences for their behaviour, we wouldn't have this problem.
And then put them on a list. You should put them on a list that shows, oh, these people will accuse you of something. Be careful. They should make a list like that. So when guys go on dates or whatever, they know about it. They know that this person could accuse.
I'm really sorry. I'm literally only just getting over all this now. It's been 10 years. It was 10 years ago. Like, in November this year, it'll be 10 years. And I really struggle with every day what she did to me, what this government did to me, what my country did to me. I don't understand how my entire country allowed their taxes to be used to torture me and call it fucking medical treatment when it wasn't. It didn't help me, didn't cure anything, didn't solve it. The problem wasn't my mental health. It was that they'd allowed a woman to falsely accuse me of something I didn't do, and I got taken away from my fucking daughter for it. Like, so I ended up becoming a science experiment. And no taxpayer still gives a fuck. They care more about some boats than the fact that one of them could become a science experiment. They don't give a fuck about human experimentation. Like, forced human experimentation. The stuff you all were taught ended in World War II is still going on.
Them of something they didn't do. It's wow, man.
Belly.
I never heard of that one.
With that, she goes, there are no perfect victims.
Yeah. We all cope in a different way.
Yeah, I cope with my by asking for more.
Yeah, by asking for another. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What a
but this is actually a big part of why that show, Whatever, is so successful. It's so successful because
The Whatever podcast is successful because humans like drama. Humans like drama. Like that's the top and bottom of it.
it also shows that in modernity, women have trouble taking account.
We all date, whether you're gay or straight or bi, woman or man. We all date, so we're all interested in everyone else's perspective on dating. Even if you're a virgin, right, with no clue about dating, we'd still listen because it'd be interesting to see what you think. And we're also interested to see what the most experienced male thinks, who slept with 1,000 women, because it's interesting to see his perspective. Because we all are involved in it, so we all are interested in everyone's perspective. That's why it is so successful.
Accountability for their actions.
Yeah.
Well, they
I only don't watch the Whatever podcast because the word retard is on it fucking 5 times a podcast. Someone will try and shit on disabled people. And I'm just sick of all you cunts shitting on people like me, Stephen Hawking, Einstein, Da Vinci, like disabled people. Who the fuck are you to shit on us? Like, fuck you.
they've never been criticized.
Never.
And this is true of the left in many ways. Like, I'm at a point now where I just say, how many illegals are there in America? And if
All this left and right bullshit, it's so stupid, man. You're all idiots. Right? There is an opposite and equal reaction to every reaction. So, from 2018 to 2021, I guess, if you disagreed with someone, you were a right-wing extremist Nazi. And then from 2023 to now, or maybe even 2022 to now, the opposite and equal reaction, anything you disagree with someone, you're a lefty. You're a tree-hugging hippie. You're a Greta Thunberg lover, fucking these people are idiots. You know, because if it comes to environmental things, I'll give you a left-wing response. If you ask me about child sex offenders, I'll give you the most right-wing response you've ever heard. You ask me about prison reform, there is both right-wing policies and left-wing policies I have. I believe in harsher punishments, but I also believe in the rehabilitation of some men and that they can redeem themselves. Not some of them, but also some of them can. So this whole left and right thing, you're all idiots. Because it's just an opposite and equal reaction to the whole right-wing thing. The same as this whole red-pilled movement is an opposite and equal reaction to the Me Too movement. And then we had the Black Lives Matter protest resulted in every human deciding that all lives matter. And you were then made out to be a Nazi for that. How dare you say all lives matter? Black lives matter. Well, of course Black lives matter. Every life matters. Whether you're black, Latina, white, Chinese, Korean. Your life matters. Life is precious. Life is the one thing in this world I hold as sacred, right? I don't even kill flies. I'll spray them with some water, capture them in a glass like a bee or a wasp, and free them. The only time I'll kill them is if I can't capture them. Like, this is my territory, but life is sacred to me. I will free every insect from my house, every spider, everything gets freed. Life is sacred. Treat it as such.
If they don't say between 15 and 30, I just walk away. Like, we're arguing with people and debating and talking to people who have no clue what they're talking about. And that's okay. I don't know anything about cars or guns, but I don't have a car gun show.
Do you believe that they believe that, though?
Which?
That there's only...
No 15 to 30-year-old believes they don't know what they're talking about.
If they were to come on and say, oh, you know, there's a couple million illegals, that's it. Do you actually believe that they believe that?
The irony about the whole illegal immigrant argument in America is that all white Americans are illegal immigrants. The only legal Americans are the Native Americans. The rest of you are fucking invaders, right? So the whole point of you arguing about immigrants is just ironic, really, because you yourselves are immigrants. You are white pilgrims from Europe. Shut the fuck up.
Half of them don't know what they're talking about. You'll never see like an intellectual debate with someone who says stupid things that aren't real on the left. They don't have debates. They scream and...
I'll happily have a debate with anyone and pretend I'm left-wing just to be like, you know, have the fun. But I guess I can have these debates with people because I'm not left-wing, maybe. Like, I am both. I'm centrist. I have right-wing views and left-wing views. I think to saddle yourself on one side is pathetic. It's sad. Why would you do that? There is good things to both sides and bad things to both sides. So why would you only pick one side when you can have both? Yous are all stupid, honestly, fucking idiots.
and shout and then walk away.
Yous all just dance to the little strings of the world puppet masters, and I just sit here laughing at yous because yous are morons, to be honest. Yous are sheep, and I've been calling yous drones because yous do exactly as your programming tells you to do. You're all fucking drones at this point to me, unless you're like open to these ideas that you are so easily influenced to the left or the right, or you know that sort of thing. Maybe not. Very few of you are shepherds. Most of you are sheep. 90% of you are sheep. But there are some shepherds like me. Just not fucking many.
That's 99% of the time. That's what happens.
I don't think they've ever thought about it. I think it's proof that they're just talking out of their ass. And if you try to pinpoint and you say, like, how many is too many illegals? And you say, like, 200 million? Is that too many? And they'll be like, nope. And you're like, you're not a serious person.
No.
So those girls, those only chicks, they've never questioned anything. They've never had...
You see, if you asked me that question, because people think I'm a lefty, I would say, well, it depends in which context. Like, are you talking about England, where the population is 60 million? Well, 60, 70 million now. See, I don't have a problem with migrants. Legal migration, I don't have a problem with. But illegal migration, I do have a problem with. Because if we don't have control over borders all over the world, The world's not the same. It's not the world I know and understand and grew up in. You're not supposed to be able to just cross borders like willy-nilly, okay? You're not allowed to do that. It's never been that way. It will never be that way, okay? You can't. For security reasons, if I can just cross over the border to another country, so can an army. It's as simple as that. Now, migration is not a problem. It's fine. We love migration. We need people who are highly skilled from other countries to come here and live and work and offer us their specialist skills. But we don't need people illegally invading the system to gain the benefits of the system by those who have worked hard their entire lives to build it. Like, it would be the equivalent of you build your own house, okay, with your own two hands, you and your family, and after you've finished, just before you close the front door, a squatter comes in and claims squatters' rights. And you legally can't remove them because you forgot to close the door before they came in. But if you closed that door, they couldn't have come in. They'd have to knock on the door. And then it would have been your choice to let them in or not. That is the equivalent. Now, I do believe one day humans will have open borders, but it won't be everywhere. You know, if you really believe in open borders, go to Area 51. Once you get to that perimeter line, and it says, do not go beyond this point, armed personnel, you will be shot. Trespassers will be shot. Warning, you walk on. You tell them about open borders. You tell the people at Area 51 that you don't believe in borders. Alright? You tell them.
Any kind of rigor to their
Well, they've never had
conversation.
any criticism. They have a magic power.
And feminists, you know, we can blame feminism as well because it told women that empowerment is sleeping with loads of people. I mean, look at that Bonnie Blue chick. She is a great example of modern feminism. Sleeping with 1,000.
How is she's not a feminist, she's like a slag. That's not a feminist. Come on. You know she's not a feminist. That is not a feminist. I'm sorry, there's no way you can call a woman going around sleeping with 1,000 men as a feminist. There's just no way.
1,000 dues in a day, doing what you want, when
No
you want.
way.
That ain't empowerment. Why do these women believe in that stuff?
I don't think any woman believes sleeping with 1,000 men is feminism. Empowerment, maybe, but it's not feminism.
It's destroying them.
Imagine if you had, and you've never had this, because you're an ugly Scotsman, but imagine that you were to have this superpower where doors magically opened for you, money magically came into your pocket without you doing
That'd be
anything.
nice.
I can't imagine that.
You can't, but they have that.
I've actually talked to like super hot chicks, and I go, "What's it like to walk into a room and every single person there wants to f you? Like 15-year-old boys, 70-year-old men, married guys, single. Everyone would love."
Did he just say 7-year-old men? I've never met a 7-year-old man fucking walks along in his nappy. Hello, sir. Did he say that? Obviously, he didn't mean to say that. Maybe 17. I misheard, surely.
What's it like to walk into a room and every single person there wants to f you? Like 15-year-old boys, 70-year-old men.
He did! 7-year-old men.
Married guys, single. Everyone would love to see
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got him. We got the Scotsman, ladies and gentlemen.
your tits. And she goes, it's exhausting, but you just shut it off. It's like being a burn victim. Like you know people are going to stare at you and you just accept it.
Well, the thing is that
I would just them all.
they utilize it. Some of these chicks do,
Yeah, I
right?
guess.
But they utilize it to gain huge amounts of resources. The
Yeah.
problem is that then they hit 30, 32,
Yeah.
30.
The wall. The wall is
The wall comes for us all.
undefeated. And when OF first came about, I did not think, surely not. No guy's going to pay for that. No, none of these girls are going to make money. But some of these girls are making like 50 grand a day. Whoever these men are, they need to be studied.
I feel sorry for these men, to be honest. The fact that they are willing to pay money to see a woman naked, or like see a woman. I honestly, it just goes to show that testosterone levels in men is going down, because for me that is weak. That just shows you as a male are not capable of getting any action without money, and you're no threat to me or any other male, because even if you got a lass, all it takes is a big dick to walk past, and you can't even afford to get her. Like, you couldn't even afford to keep her away. Like, all you're doing is setting yourself up for a life of pain by paying for OnlyFans. That is all you're doing.
If there's anything to study, but who are these guys? They're walking among us. They're not telling us who they are, but they're
They're the dirty bastards who, you know, keep it to themselves, and they know what they are, and that's why they don't tell you, Sam. This is one of the reasons why I don't trust most men, because most men are disgusting creatures. Well, let's be honest.
out there in numbers.
Poof.
Suddenly it's really hard to keep your body in shape, and you're not nearly as beautiful as you once
It really
were.
is a switch, isn't it?
And then when that power's gone, they do everything to create the illusion that it's still there. So that's why you see all these chicks with the filters and the makeup and all this shit all over their
Yeah.
Instagram. They're 40. Wow, that chick is smoking hot. You're getting catfished. For
Yep.
one thing, these
Yep.
chicks, they don't look like that in studio.
Really?
No, not even in the same universe. I remember the first time I went home and I was talking with my wife, and I'm like,
I like his wife. Like, she's a smart woman. She puts all the feminists in their place. It's very rare that I see another woman calling out other women's toxicity. His wife is one of them, and that's why I think she deserves more credit and support than she gets.
I don't know how they do
But
it.
obviously, women hate her for that. They hate the fact that she calls them out for what the shit they do.
But they can prep their makeup in such a way where they just
Yeah.
look perfect
Yeah.
on that camera. They do not look like that. Okay? They are 2 degrees downgraded from that. And it's amazing. But
That's why I consider makeup as lying, personally. If I see the more makeup a woman has, the more insecure she is.
they can, the way that they wear their outfits and the way they do their makeup and
Yeah, it's true. I remember when I did. My friend launched a clothing brand back in the day, and he asked me to do some photos wearing some of the clothes and things like that. And I remember we went there to the studio, and it was all professional, quite expensive. And there were girls there, like group of girls, taking
Fucking adverts.
photos for Instagram in a flipping professional studio where like Adidas go, Nike, these places, they're there just taking everyday Instagram photos, and it was so calculated, everything. I couldn't believe it.
That's the thing, right? If you need to try and project a reality that doesn't exist, it means you're not confident in yourself. If a bloke like literally can just wake up and just take his picture, be like, there I am, and then a woman needs an entire like fucking professional photography to make her look better, it means she's insecure, she's not really confident, she's faking the confidence. Faking it. She's not really confident. It's all fake. It's all fake.
We were all pissing ourselves laughing, but it just goes to show how far some people go to
To lie, let's be honest, to lie about how they look, to lie.
make themselves look a certain way and present themselves a certain way on social
To lie.
media. It's just absolutely bonkers. It really is.
you know what I mean? They can really present themselves on camera as looking way different than they actually look in person.
I will link the full debate in the description down below. But yeah, Andrew gets a lot of criticism, but he just presents facts as we know. He's just saying what's morally right. Girls shouldn't be doing OF.
Morally right. Honestly, Sam, he is right most of the time, but he just shits on disabled people all the time. Specifically mentally disabled people, not generally people in wheelchairs, but the wording he uses is fucking disgusting sometimes. It's just normal in America to shit on disabled people. I don't know why. I think it's because they're not allowed to shit on black people anymore. So they had to shit on someone, so it's disabled people. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I don't know why they do it. But anyway, that's my reaction to this. Andrew Wilson is a smart guy. He's a very good debater. If you do like, dating podcasts, watch his shit on whatever podcast. But personally, I can't stand the man because if he was so smart, he would use better words than retard, and he would be smarter than to insult mental health problems, because people with mental health problems need help. They don't need to be insulted for their medical problem. Like, we shouldn't insult people for medical problems. We should help them, okay? Anyway, see you later. Bye-bye.